Alright everyone, I'm going to start off here showing you guys one of my cabinet displays. The top shelf is dedicated to Cloud City and Bespin. As you can see, most of what I have on there is vintage, and then on the right side here I have a couple of Legos and a modern day Cloud Car Pilot. This next shelf is just a little bit of a hodgepodge. You got a vintage collector's case back there, and you got the Rumph of Chewbacca, the classic Rumph. And the best part about the Rumph, guys, it is autographed by Peter Mayhew. It was really an honor to get to meet him and have him sign that. Next up here, guys, we have my other two Rumphs and a statue by Gentle Giant of Obi-Wan Kenobi. And then going on, we have my shelf dedicated to the Forest Moon of Endor. This shelf is a little mixture of vintage to modern with some Star Tours figures in the back, and of course the Ewoks animated series Dulocs peeking in there. Next up here, guys, we have my vintage Burger King glasses and some vintage figures to go along with them. I really love the way these look up on this shelf, and having the figure that's on the glass stand next to them, I really think it highlights and makes these glasses a standout part of my collection. Here we have the OG Droid Factory Build-A-Droid set, and we have two of the three-legged vintage R2s with it. I'm a huge fan of the Jawas, guys, so I absolutely have to have my Land of the Jawas playset set up here on display. So here I have the vintage figures due back in awe enjoying the desert sands of Tatooine. Now, the 12-inch figures for some reason just have a special spot in my heart. I know everyone loves the 3 3/4-inch figures, and so do I, but something about these 12-inch figures just really gets me. They're kind of like, dolls, but they're not really dolls. They're like action figures, and it's just so cool to see the vintage style. Kenner did a great job knocking them out the park. I have a complete set, IG-88 and Boba Fett included, and they just look so good. My next display here I'm going to show you guys is my Brisk store display. I'll give you a quick overview here, and then we'll dive in deep on each shelf. So the first shelf here, guys, is all vintage mostly, and is dedicated to the Rebel Alliance. I love the Rebel Alliance. I think the vintage Kenner Stowaways have a great representation there. And I have them set up here, chilling out, getting ready to plan the next Rebel victory. The next shelf down is dedicated to Jabba and his denizens. So guys, I have a flashlight showing this off because it's not the most well lit due to the fact that it's a Brisk store display. I don't want to ruin that and add lights. I know a lot of people add lights to their displays, but since this is a store display, I didn't want to, change anything about it from its original condition. I absolutely love Return of the Jedi's Jabba scene. Growing up as a kid, the figures captured my imagination, and really the aliens there really caught my attention. So I have this whole little setup dedicated to them. Off the bat now, guys, we have my vintage bounty hunter display. Love the vintage figures, love the bounty hunters. I have Vader and Imperial back there overseeing the loading of Han and Carbonite. Got Boba Fett here, 4-Lom and Zuckuss, and of course, Bosk and his Cap 2 Captivator with Dengar and IG-88 chilling out. This cabinet is where I keep a lot of my most treasured stuff and a lot of my higher end things. A lot of what I keep in here are things that I either really like a lot, like Dagobah, or hard to find variants like a painted head Taiwan Fett, or just things that have a lot of sentimental meaning to me, like my dad's childhood Death Star. First shelf that we're going to dive right on in here to is the Hoth shelf. I always thought the planet Hoth was cool, and especially at wintertime, to go outside and play around and pretend you're getting chased by a Wampa or battling in the snowfields is always a great time. This shelf for Hoth is all my vintage stuff. I love Kenner's Hoth line. They did a great job. They gave you all the stuff you needed. You had all the army builders you needed to build your army. The only thing I really wish they would have done was give Hoth Luke a lightsaber. And then here we have it, guys, the first 12, the ones that started it all and led us down the rabbit hole that is Star Wars collecting. Now for the display stand that they have there, I have the mailer box for it and the backdrop. I just have those put away so that you can see the lunch boxes behind it. A quick peek at my blue snaggletooth, and then we'll go right down the line here and look at the first 12. Now this is my brown-haired Luke and my hollow tubes Tusken Raider, which are some key hard to find variants if you go down the hole of collecting variants for the vintage Kenner line. I love both the Tusken Raider and the Jawa, so here's a little shrine I have, I guess, to the Jawa. Now these two are my Taiwan Boba Fetts. The one on the right is the painted head variant, and the one on the left is just the standard Taiwan. This lunchbox is autographed by Peter Mayhew, right down there for The Empire Strikes Back. And then here's a look at my droids figures. The 3PO is not the Kenner droids 3PO, it's just the Disney Parks one from the early 90s. The next stop on our tour here, guys, is to Dagobah. I absolutely love Dagobah. I don't know what it is about the planet, but the swampy world with Yoda is just great, and especially with the vintage figures. Right there I have my brown snake Yoda. I have an orange snake Yoda stuck back there with Luke and Telescope R2-D2. We have the Black Series Yoda. We have another Bespin Luke. I absolutely love the Bespin Luke. I have a handmade pipe there, which is just the artistry there is awesome. My Black Series Luke and Dagobah Yoda. Moving on here, guys, we have the Death Star, which the Death Star playset from Kenner is just amazing. They had all the play features you need. I have my Death Star gunner up there with some other Imperials. I have the Death Star rope with Luke and Leia, both Taiwan COOs, getting ready to swing across there. And of course, even though this is Death Star 1, you have to have the Emperor and his royal guards there, an Imperial dignitary. I said, Kenner just did everything. They had a trash compactor, they had an elevator. There really wasn't anything else you needed for it. It was the perfect playset. Thank you so much for watching to the end. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Have a great day, and may the Force be with you.